The rain cooled about 3:30 to a damp mist through which occasional thin drops swam like dew. Gatsby looked with vacant eyes through a copy of Clay's Economics, starting at the finished thread that shook the kitchen floors and peering toward the bleared windows from time to time, as if a series of invisible but alarming happenings were taking place outside. Finally, he got up and informed me in an uncertain voice that he was going home.
I think I'm going home.
Why is that?
Nobody comes to tea this late.
Don't be silly. It's 2 minutes to 4. There she is. This absolutely where you live, my dearest one? Are you in love with me? Or why did I have to come alone? That's the secret of Castle Rackram. Tell your chauffeur to go far away and spend an hour. Come back in an hour, Ferdy. His name is Ferdy. Does the gasoline affect his nose? I don't think so. Why? Well, that's funny. What's funny? I certainly am awfully glad to see you again.
We had met before. So sorry about the clock.
It's an old clock. We haven't met for many years.
5 years next November.
How's life? Great. That's good.
Where are you going?
I'll be back.
I've got to speak to you before you go. Oh God.
What's the matter?
I made a terrible mistake. Terrible mistake.
You're just embarrassed. Daisy's embarrassed too.
Daisy's embarrassed?
Just as much as you are.
Don't talk so loud.
You're acting like a little boy. Not only that, but you're being rude. Daisy's sitting there all alone.
I walked out the back way, just as Gatsby had when he made his nervous circuit of the house half an hour before, and ran for a huge black knotted tree whose massed leaves made a fabric against the rain. Once more it was pouring in my irregular lawn, well shaved by Gatsby's gardener, embedded in small muddy swamps and prehistoric marshes. There was nothing to look at from under the tree except for Gatsby's enormous house, so I stared at it, like Kant at his church steeple, for half an hour. A brewer had built it early in the period craze, a decade before, and there was a story that he had agreed to pay 5-year taxes on all of the neighboring cottages if the owners would have their roofs thatched with straw. Perhaps their refusal took the heart out of his plan to found a family. He went into an immediate decline. His children sold his house with the black wreath still on the door. Americans, while occasionally willing to be serfs, have always been obstinate about being peasantry.
After half an hour, the sun shone again and the grocer's automobile rounded Gatsby's drive with the raw material for his servant's dinner. I felt sure he wouldn't eat a spoonful. A maid began opening the upper windows of his house, appeared momentarily in each, and leaning from a large central bay, spat meditatively into the garden. It was time I went back. While the rain continued, it had seemed like the murmur of their voices, rising and swelling a little now and then, with gusts of emotion. But in the new silence, I felt the silence had fallen within the house too. I went in, after making every possible noise in the kitchen short of pushing over the stove, but I don't believe they heard a sound. They were sitting at either end of the couch looking at each other, as if some question had been asked or was in the air, and every vestige of embarrassment was gone. Daisy's face was smeared with tears, and when I came in, she jumped up and began wiping at it with her handkerchief before a mirror. But there was a change in Gatsby that was simply confounding. He literally glowed. Without a word or gesture of exultation, a new well-being radiated from him and filled the little room. It stopped raining.
Has it?
What do you think of that? It stopped raining. I'm glad, Jay.
I want you and Daisy to come to my house.
Are you sure you want me to come?
Absolutely, old sport.
I've seen the